Oh, you fancy, huh?
Girls, let me see your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it.
I know you got all dressed up for the club.
Hey, what's up, you guys? So I am using a filter this time because I like these lashes they gave me, but nothing too crazy because they gave me some lashes and a little blush, but nothing to contorting my face. I say this because I appreciate the real, and I want you guys to know that because I play with filters every once in a while, you know. I appreciate the real, and plus, there's a bunch of dusties that love to talk about how you look, call you ugly, talk about that's why everything about you is fake whenever they don't like to hear the truth that comes out of your lips. So you know, whatever, fool. I'm pretty in 3D and without it. How about that? So let me get to the point. So I'm cleaning up and I was just thinking about some things and talking about some things, and whenever I feel like I want to share it with you, here I go. Want to hear it? Here I go. History. Have you noticed that it's only the most logical creatures that talk about don't bring up the history, why you always living in the past? That's in the past, leave it there. Let's talk about history for a second. Let's talk about how important history is. You see the hashtags all the time. First of all, as a flight attendant, I am hard pressed to go into any of my crew rooms, my super secure areas, and almost any airport all over the world and not see Remember 9/11. It's very few places I'm gonna pass and I not see Remember 9/11, and I don't see May they rest in peace and God bless their families. My former my former partners, family, United in Wings, who unfortunately had to sacrifice their life and go out in a very heroic way trying to protect the rest of the people around them in flight. There's almost nowhere to this day where I'm not going to see in aviation spaces Remember 9/11. Always remember, never forget. As a Black person, all this week and last week, I've been hearing Remember the 400. And we know why. And if you don't, Google it, because everybody should know. No matter what color you are, you should understand what Remember the 400 means and respect that. What else? When I lived in Oklahoma, there was tributes. And as a matter of fact, we had to study this in school. We had to study the bombing experience that happened. Didn't have nothing to do with me, but in that state, if you go to school, you must remember, you must know, and they will tell you never forget, always remember. And there's so many other things. Heck, remember the Alamo, remember all kinds of stuff. But anyway, whenever there is a tragedy, whenever there is something that has caused a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of change, reactionary events that had to happen, we are told and we encourage each other to always remember, to never forget. We know why, but you know, for some of you who want to try to pretend like you don't know why, I'm just going to go into it for just a moment. Why must we always remember? Why is it important for us to study history in school, in all stages of school, and including in college? If you become an attorney, what's the biggest part of what you have to study to become an attorney? A whole bunch of history. You have to refer to the history of the law all the time. So, but there's only one place in life where these most logical creatures and leaders try to tell us to forget history, and it is in these fake romantical relationships where we are typically subjugated to the bullshittery of the XY species. Of course, not all of them, but all the Ash Guardians, all the dust buckets, all the scuzz buckets. That's one of their favorite gaslighting lines to say is, why are you living in the past? Oh, that just happened yesterday. That just happened last month. Why are we still talking about this? I thought you loved me. You're supposed to forgive and forget. No, the fuck we're not. Society, government, America, American history, every country history, teachers, schools, business. Hell, you can't even get the job I have unless you submit to them going all up and through your history to find out if you're even worthy to even go into the process of trying to earn your wings. Because your history matters. And because what you do as a human being lets people know. Hell, nowadays, if you're dating, before we date, we better Google a mother sucker. Why? Because we need to know your history. It says invite to join live. Somebody Somebody's trying to join live. I don't know who you are, and it looks like you're an XY, so I'm declining. You may not join my live, but you can drop some comments, sure. But this is not a live where I'm inviting people to join. As a matter of fact, I'll let you know now. You will not be invited or accepted to join my live unless you are a woman, because this space is for women. If you are an ally, if you support us, that is great. I will read your comment out loud if you send me a gift. This space is for us. It's for us. It's for us to be seen and to be heard, because we're not generally heard and accepted anywhere else. So if there's something you want to say, you can drop it in the comments, and if it's respectable, I will read it, or I will at least acknowledge it. I may not read it out loud. If it's not, you will be blocked. Okay. So let me get back to what I'm saying. Hi Annie. Hi Sassy. Hi Pam. Thank you, sugar. That's my daughter Maddie. Thank you, baby. No, don't do that, girl. Don't do that. Okay. So hey, what's up? Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sending gifts to support to support this whole platform of Darling Nikki. If you're with it, I appreciate it. So back to history. Before you go into a lot of jobs, you have to submit to allowing them to go into your history, because what you have done as an adult, there are patterns in our behavior, and those patterns are important because those patterns are going to give a good indication of what can be expected in the future. We have these hashtags in the history books that say always remember, never forget. As a matter of fact, there are monuments and there are whole government organizations, depending on what the tragedy or the attack was, that arise in the ashes of that mess to ensure that it doesn't happen again, and to ensure that we have learned what we need to learn to be able to do everything we can to prevent it to happen again. But only in romantic relationships are we typically told by men, forget history. Forget history. That already happened. Why are you still holding that against me? Because fool, that's logical, okay? These people try to say that we're not logical, we're so emotional, but it's illogical to allow somebody to continue to have babies on you, to not pay bills, to lay around and not clean the house, to do all the typical things that happen in typical heterosexual relationships, to be cheated on. Oh my God, to be smacked around, to be mistreated, to be overlooked, to have her accomplishments be completely downplayed, and all the other stuff that historically has happened in the traditional relationship, and then be told, forget the history that already happened. That happened yesterday, last month, last week, last year. Why are you still bringing that up? So the rest of the world and all other organizations and institutions, they're all wrong, right? But in the very first institution that was ever established on this earth, which is family. So the man is right, and the whole rest of the world and societies all over the world, they're wrong, huh? We're supposed to forget. Everybody else is supposed to remember and to plan and to move forward wiser, stronger, fortified, and be ready to fight with a better preemptive strike and a better defensive strike, except for women. Huh? So basically what you're saying, if you're one of those scuzz buckets that always try to say, why do you keep bringing this up? What you're then telling us then is that you want us to willingly continue to be available for your abuse and use. You want us to willingly continue to be a doormat. Forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. So that means you want us to be weak, to be docile, and to be committed to continuing to breed more and more generations of victims. It's so disempowering, but that is what these type of trash bags want. We have to also stop calling them dogs, because that is totally a disrespectful thing to actual dogs, because dogs are loyal, dogs are protective, dogs are defense, are they're a strong defense when it comes to their owners and the people that they're bonded with. As a matter of fact, with the last baby that I was carrying, a dog that didn't even belong to me, my parents' dog, she stayed when she came around me and she sniffed, and she knew that I was carrying a baby. I didn't know at that time, but she knew something wasn't right with that baby, because she stayed at my feet the entire time I was in her presence, never leaving my side, even if I went to the bathroom. And she seemed to be displaying so much like kind of concern and like even dare I say empathy, so tender and gentle with me. And wouldn't you know it, when I flew back home and returned home, I shortly thereafter found out that that baby was not viable and that baby was, was going to be gone. We have to stop calling these type of men dogs or bears, because we're safer with the dogs, and we're even safer with the bears than we are with these men who would tell us to turn off our brain, to turn off our logic, to turn off our emotion, because emotions are very important, strong signals that should be respected, honored, and paid attention to. They don't need to run the show, but nothing needs to 100% run the show. Your emotions, your logic, all that needs to work together for a reason. And that reason is for us to be able to make the best possible decisions to secure the best possible outcomes for us. And anyone, and I'm not going to say listen up young girls, because girls and women of all ages go through this, so it's not an age thing at all, but anyone that would have a male tell them otherwise is dealing with a man who is trying to groom them, is dealing with a man who does not have their best interest in mind. So know that. Tag somebody who needs to understand this, who needs to hear this. Share it. Make it a very blessed and empowered day, my ladies. Bye-bye.